part one of this lion video is going to show you how to make this head. And we're going to make everything, the ears, the muzzle, and then I show you how to sew on the nose and the mouth and the eyes. And I did not sew on the mane yet because I need to position the body and then sew on the mane. But basically it's going to go around the ears like that. Okay, to make the head of the lion, what you're going to need are 2 sets of buttons for the eyes. If you're going to use Snap products or Snap eyes, they look like these. And they have a washer and the actual eyes. You can simply snap them on. It's pretty easy to use. And you need a nose, like that, and a washer. But in this video I'm going to show you how to make it with regular buttons for the eyes, which looks like these. And yeah, oops, sorry. And then I'm going to sew the nose and the mouth with black yarn. And what I'm going to do is use the same weight yarn, which is medium weight worsted yarn. And I am going to use 3 shades of brown for the head. This is for the muzzle, which is the lightest shade of brown. And then for the head and the ears, the medium shade of brown, and the darkest shade of brown for the mane of the lion. I'm going to start out with the ears. And I'm going to make magic ring, which is just looping the working end over the end here and putting my hook and pulling the yarn up. I am going to slip knot to lock that in, and then I am going to crochet 5 single crochet in the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the end to tighten, and I am going to hide my loop inside my second round and do an increase in the next round, which is 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and we're going to end up with 10 stitches in this round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slip knot to end here, and I'm going to cut off the end, a pretty long tail, so that you can sew it into the head, and pull the yarn through the slip knot tights, and you set it aside. This is be one ear. You need to make another one for the second ear, so pause the video, make the second one, and I already made my second one here. See? Here's. Okay, now to make the muzzle you need the other yarn. Again, magic ring, slip knot, 5 single crochet in the loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull tight, increase in the next round. Again, I'm going to hide my string in here. Okay, and you're going to end up with 10 in this round. One. Sorry, it's a little tight. Two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the second round. Third round, we're going to do 1 increase and 1 single crochet. So we're doing an increase, that's 1, 2, single crochet, makes it 3, and we're going to have 15 stitches at the end, so I'm going to keep counting with you. So then we have 3, and increase, so that's 4, 5, single crochet, 6, 7, increase, sorry, 7, 8, single crochet, 9, increase, 10, 11, single crochet, 12, increase, 13, 14, single crochet, 15. And that's the last round, so we're going to slip stitch, snip off the end, again leave a good long tail to sew it in, and pull tight, and that is the muzzle. Now you can stick this in here for if you want to snap on the nose. You would just stick it in here and put the washer in the back and snap it in. But I am going to sew on the nose and the mouth here. So I'm going to need black yarn, threaded. I'm using a pretty big needle, makes it easier to thread. You can use a smaller one if you like. What I'm going to do is sew the nose, and what I need is a triangle for the nose. I'm going to cover this part, so I'm going to line out the top part of the nose like this. I cut a pretty long string just in case I need it. You can cut it shorter. Okay, that's going to be the top part of my nose, and then this is going to be the bottom part, and I'm going to make a V here, like that. Put it back in here, top part, and stick the bottom through the same hole. Like so, and put the last part up here, sort of the middle, back in the bottom, same hole, covers it and makes a little nose. And now I am going to make the mouth, which I'm just going to put it from here to here, smaller mouth. If you're going to use the snap-on nose, you're going to have to sew the mouth because you don't make mouths yet. Yeah, like so. I'm making him have a small mouth, like that. And you can cut the yarn back and then tie it tight. Tie off the ends like that. I like to tie it one way, which is like this, and then the second knot I do it the opposite direction to help it keep it in place and not unravel. After you've done that, or you can do it a couple more times to make sure it doesn't unravel, and you can simply trim it off so it doesn't stick out when you have to sew it onto the face. And there you have your nose and your mouth on your muzzle. Set it aside, and now we're going to make the head of the lion. Again, we're going to start with the magic loop or magic ring. Slip knot. We do 6 single crochet in the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to make sure this end is inside the loop when you're crocheting. Sorry, I didn't mention that before. So in 4, so 5 and 6. Pull tight. I'm going to use a marker because I need to, we're going to make more than 3 rounds. So I would like to know when my round begins. I'm going to use blue as my marker. Simply lay it across like that. Second round, we're going to do an increase in each stitch around. Again, the first stitch is always tight, sorry. We're going to make 12 stitches in the next round. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm going to move my marker to the back. The third round, we're going to do 1 increase and 1 single crochet. So an increase, single crochet, 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 and that should make 18 stitches in this round. The fourth round we're going to do an increase and 2 single crochets. So increase, 2 single crochet, that's 1, 2, increase, 2 single crochet, 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 and at the end of this round you should have 24 stitches. Okay, we're on our 5th round, and we're going to do an increase and 3 single crochet. Increase, 3 single crochet, 2, 3, and increase, and then 1, 2, 3, increase, 3 single crochet, that's 1, 2, 3, increase, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I don't know how this white yarn got in here. Okay, increase, 3 single crochet, yes, 3 single crochet, increase, 3 single crochet, okay, and that makes 30 stitches in this round. Again, it's going to want to curve in and show the wrong side, but you can just fold it out like that. Okay, for rounds 6 through 13, which is 7 rounds, you're going to want to do a single crochet in each round. And please pause the video and then come back when you're done with your rounds, your 7 rounds. Okay. Welcome back, and you should have done your 7 rounds of 30 stitches, and you should end up with 13 rounds at the moment, and we can make sure just by counting. And we'll start here, which is the first round, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13. 13 rounds. And before we go on, I want to put on the eyes and the muzzle and the ears. So I'm going to pull out the loop here. I'm going to position it so that the yarn is on the back, and we want to put the eyes on. What I'm going to use is those the buttons, and the black yarn for the eyes, to sew in the eyes. Actually, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was going to use the brown yarn, the same color as the body, so it can hide it better. I'm going to snip off a good length. And I'm using a smaller needle because I want to be able to fit it in the hole of the button. Here. Okay, it is a little harder to thread the needle with the yarn, Oops. Okay, so I have my yarn thread. Then I am going to position my eyes, say here. I'm going to flip it inside out here, like so. And I am going to use 2 of the loops in the back. I'm going through the buttonhole, pulling the needle through. Now you can either do it 1 pass or 2. If you want to do 2, you can put it through again. It's a little harder because you have to pull the needle through. I use a plastic material to help me pull the needle through. There. So you have your first eye, like that. I tie it here to secure it. Again, I do tie it one way and then the opposite way, less likely for it to unravel. And then I am going to position my second eye about, I can use the muzzle to help me position it like that, and say the second eye, I think about here. Do what you think would make it look symmetrical, either there or down here. Down here's better, right? Yes, right there. And again, I'm going to flip it inside out. Use the same thread or yarn to put it through the yarn in the back. I think it's sideways here. Again, I'm using the same color, so it will mix in with the head. Again, I'm going to do the second pass, and I need my plastic to pull my needle through, and there we have it. Make sure it's equal, like that. I am going to tie it off. Should look like that. I'm going to cut off the end so it's not too long. And then I am going to sew on the muzzle like that. Again, I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to use the big needle this time because it makes it much easier to thread. Okay. Make sure it's positioned correctly between the eyes. I am going to use what they call the ladder stitch, which is going through here, like so, and then put it up through the loop here, and down through the second loop, and again through here, like so. And you're going to continue this all the way around. we're at the end here. So you have your mussel sewed on like that. Going to knot it off here. In the back. You can secure it further by sewing it into the loops, the back loops. That. And one more time just to get rid of all the yarn, the excess yarn here. Like that. And there you have it. We're going to put on the ears, which would go, again, thread the needle. Can be challenging with yarn. Okay, and the first ear, I wanted to put it about right here. So, again, use the ladder stitch. So, secure it here, put it back through, and down into the head. So, here, whatever you think looks best, and the lion's ears usually curve a little bit like that, and I'm going to secure it in the inside. I'm going to pull this end in with the crochet hook in the same hole here. And then I'm going to tie these two together. Cut off the excess. And then you have one ear, like so. And the second ear, try to make it look symmetrical. So say about here. Oh, sorry, thread your yarn. And I want to say about here. Yes, okay. Make sure it looks symmetrical. And then again, I am going to pull the end through right here with the crochet hook and tie it off the inside. Like so. Cut off the excess. And you have the head and the ears on. Now we're going to finish the head. So on the 14th ring, so I have yarn in the way here. Okay. The 14th ring, we're going to decrease and 3 single crochet. And like the egg or any origami animals that you make, you want to do an invisible decrease. To do an invisible decrease, I have to get closer here, is you pick up the loops on the outside, like so, 2, and you yarn over, pull through the 2 outside loops, leaving 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, and then you have your decrease, and 3 single crochet, decrease, again, I'm going to show you, pick up 1, 2 outside loop, yarn over, bring through the 2 loops, outside loops, yarn over, bring through those 2 loops, and then 3 single crochet, decrease, 3 single crochet, decrease, 3 single crochet, decrease, 3 single crochet, decrease, oh sorry, decrease, 3 single crochet, okay, now you should have 24 stitches in this round. And we're going to do another decrease and 2 single crochet. So decrease, two single crochet, decrease, 2 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 single crochet. You should have 18 in this round. See, the head is taking shape. The next round, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet. So decrease, single crochet, 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 decrease, single crochet. Okay, before we close the head, we have to stuff the head. So you can use any type of stuffing you like. I'm going to use polyfill. And stuff it pretty firmly. Okay, so we have the head stuffed, and we're going to continue so we can close the head. In the next round, we're going to decrease all the way around, and we're going to end up with 12 stitches. So decrease 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I was mistaken, 6 rounds, sorry. The last round was 12, this is 6. So this is the 6th one. And we are done. So I'm going to pull yarn out. And then going to cut it off. And I can pull off my marker yarn now. So you have 6 here stitches left, and you have sort of a hole, which is okay. We're going to close it off like so. We're going to sew in just the outside loops. See here if I can get it close. Okay, and do just the outside loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you can pull tight. It's okay if the bulge is there. To get rid of it, we stick the needle back in, pull it through anywhere on the head, like so, and pull it in like that. And we're going to tie a knot. Here, cut off thread, take the needle and swirl around to get rid of the knot. See, it disappears into the filling. You won't be able to see it, and you squish it around just a little bit, and that is what it looks like in the end at the bottom of the head. And here you have your head without the mane. And now I'm going to teach you how to make the mane, which is with the darker brown yarn. We're going to chain 33. I am going to make my slip knot here, like so. Chain 33. Do it pretty loosely. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So we have 33, and then we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from the loop. And I like to use the back of the chain. So if you flip it over, you can feel the ridges. And this is the first one. That's the second one. I'm going to slip stitch into that stitch, like so. And then I am going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch into the next chain. And so chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to repeat this all the way down the chain till the end. So again, I'm going to show you one more time, and then you can pause the video and finish the rest of the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip stitch into the next chain or next stitch, like so, chain 6, and continue on till the end of the chain. And pause, you can pause the video now. Okay, welcome back. So I did chain 6 and slip stitch into every stitch till the end, and it looks like this. And what we want to do here is stitch these two together. So make sure it's not twisted, like so. Sorry, needle in the way. Making sure, and we're going to pick up the end here. It's not twisted, and we're going to slip stitch these two together right here. Okay, and I am going to do another slip stitch to just lock it in place, make it more secure. And you want to leave an extra long tail because you have to sew it all the way around the head. So I would say do at least 2 or 3 times the size of the head. And you can make it really long because you can always cut off the rest. And there we have our mane. It's going to go around the head like so, but behind the ears like that. See, it's going to look like that. But what you want to do, you don't want to sew it on right now because we don't know the position of the body yet. It should be around here, but to play it safe, we don't want to sew it in place yet. So this is sort of what the lion looks like. The head. And there you have the head, and part 2 I will do the body of the lion. Thank you.